The interaction of community members is reducing due to the disconnect of present and future generations. My client, Suda, is a very interactive member in her community. She bonds with the people of her community through her passion, gardening. First off, here's my site. Let's take a look at the accessibility in terms of a bus. The only bus stop in the entire site is on Master Street. The route doesn't even go through most of Sharswood. It only goes on Master Street and 27th Street. It has the potential to be an area for interaction in the community, but it does not reach the majority of the community. Since the bus doesn't reach most of Sharswood, most people often drive their own vehicles instead. Next, let's look at the new PHA houses that are coming in. Slowly but surely, these houses will soon populate a lot of this site. These more expensive houses are meant for new people to move into the community. The only problem with that is the average salary of a person in Sharswood is already low, so they are being forced to move elsewhere because they cannot afford a new house, causing a disconnect between the present and future generations. Not to mention, a lot of the current residents don't like the look of these new PHA houses. Let's take a deeper dive into these PHA houses. A lot of these houses don't have a certain feature that creates relationships and builds bonds: stoops. This map shows the houses around the site that have stoops. Placing a house without a stoop on these blocks would disrupt the flow of the neighborhood. Even the PHA houses that do have stairs to get inside have them on up to a higher level, creating a feeling of isolation and that the resident wouldn't want to talk. Suda is very passionate about gardening. She loves greenery and finds these places a spot to bond with her community. One of the site's major aspects is the community garden located on the corner of 27th and Master. However, other areas around the site aren't so green, causing a disconnection to the people in those spots. Also, other gardens are within minutes of walking. Community gathering spots are significant in interacting with community, but the only gathering spots on the site are the garden and the athletic rec center. For my bubble diagram, I wanted to show how one would use the house to interact with the community around it. In the middle are the spaces that could be private or public rooms. On the left, it shows how living spaces, represented by purple, would be located on different levels, creating a sense of privacy. Towards the right, the interactive spaces represented in blue are connected to the spaces Suda would interact with others in. The green shows outdoor spaces and the light blue shows universal spaces. The yellow represents natural elements and how they would directly impact the house. In the end, change is inevitable and newer generations will come into Sharswood, but there doesn't have to be a disconnection to what the community looked like in the past.